New outlet, how to breed better crops, how to breed better animals.
Yes.
For us.
Crazy, amazing.
And we don't recognise that today. You know,
Yeah.
and I think that's wrong. And
But
look,
can
there's the key to your
I say something to Billy on that? It's something that has come out. Do you see the way the old farming ways were there with the monks, and then generations after generations into the last couple of 100 years and further up, and then, and you rightly said, all of this beautiful meadowland was wiped out for intensive farming.
You see, it goes back to King Henry VIII. He turned monarchy into a corporation.
Yes, yes.
Corporations couldn't care less. They only want the money.
It's their profit line. Yes.
And whereas sovereignty comes from God, and you're accountable to God.
Yes.
And you're accountable to the sovereign people.
Yes.
That's what it's about. That's the difference, and that's what our
Correct.
independence
Yes.
is from. But he didn't care, and that's the problem in the world today. They can go in, they can pollute the seas, they can wipe out forests, they can take your land and do what they like, and they don't have to account for anyone. They think themselves. But that's not right.
No.
That has to be addressed.
Now it is, and I'll tell you why. And that's the very point that you touched on there, Billy. Now, the present modern day farmers are now being requested to move away from intensive farming and go back to the original type of meadowland that we see here.
In other words,
It's
follow
turning.
nature.
It's turning.
Keep in line with nature.
Yes.
This is the day for farming. This
Yes.
is when it was invented. You know, thousands of years ago. And it was the Irish Celtic monks were the ones who did it. And they brought that all. Now, I do agree that in Britain and other places, you know, those monasteries were out of hand. They went completely corrupt. And, I mean...
The monasteries.
They did. So
All right.
I mean, the Benedictines owned a third of the land of England. So they became landlords.
Right.
And they corrupted. And they became bigger corporations than anybody else.
Yes.
You know, and that's not right either. The two wrongs don't make a right.
Correct. I
But
see what you
the point
mean.
is, what I'm saying is, what we have, nature can't do that. And what's going to happen is, you'll destroy nature and you'll destroy mankind. And we have now the knowledge and information and technology
And
to do it.
Correct, and another very good point that you've raised there as well. We're in the middle. I know scientists say, one group of scientists say it's man-made, climate change. And others say it's nature evolving over thousands of years. Either way, we are in climate change. So if we're going to continue to deforest the land, plunder the seas, poison our fish, as I had some great interviews there with Patsy Pearl in Limerick, what that man is coming out with now about the poison in fish that we're eating, it's dreadful. It's absolutely dreadful. And it's corporation profit again.
Is to make money.
It's to make money.
That land, if I put fertiliser on that,
Yes.
I buy from the corporation, it would be the same as that which they cut silage the other day.
Yes.
Mechanically cut. Now, I'm not saying, but it has to be it has to be controlled.
Yes.
You don't see any birds here now. That's to do with the birds and the bees,
Yes.
and nature can live with that.
But I see them. I see the butterflies. I see the bees.
But you can't see it in those other fields because
No.
there's nothing for
There's
them to
nothing
live.
there.
And that's telling you, look, what we've come now to you know, you must pull. Look at if I don't know whether you can see them or not, but I have my swarm of bees there just behind it.
Well, let them stay there.
No, but just shows you what
Yes.
they have, and they make the most beautiful
Honey.
apple and wildflower honey.
Yes.
I want to show you before we finish.
Oh,
this
by the way, you
pastoral-
gave me a jar the last day of wildflower honey.
Well, what do you think?
I'll tell you something. It was out of this world.
There's where it came from.
Absolutely. On the ground.
You see, you looked at this when we did this on the 21st of January. There was
Correct.
nothing here.
There was nothing there. But look at
And
it
now
now.
look at it today.
It's
It's
just,
very pleasant.
it's
look.
actually magical.
I want to show you across the road before we finish here, because
I'm going to
you
follow
won't
you,
see these
so.
anymore. Look, the length of that. It grows
Yes.
up to that.
Yes.
Look at that. There's no more growth in that.
Right.
Now you have to save it, and that's
Right.
the point of the whole issue.
So this mechanism was brought in, modified, developed by the monks of yesteryear.
That's it.
Fantastic.
And the Celtic monks were the ones
Celtic
who
monks.
they developed farming, fishing, and how to live on planet Earth. And we don't care about it. Now, I do agree that they got out of control with Henry VIII and all that. You know, they were corrupt.
Yes.
And that's not right either.
No.
And two wrongs.
But folks, I just want you just to take a look at this magical meadowland.
There's mullein. These all grow. I didn't plant these. And there's orchids and everything if you want.
Yes. Now these are mullein.
I want you to see across here.
Look at that, for a beautiful flower.
That's
My-
mullein or lamb's ear. You just feel it how lovely
Yes,
and soft like
yes.
lamb's ears is.
It is like a velvet touch, absolutely magnificent.
Well, thank God you brought the sun, John.
Well, I did. Well, 21st of June. Now, am I right in saying the 21st of June is the day depicted by the monks as well for all of this?
They followed nature.
They followed nature. God, why can't we just...
basis to this. This is the angles and all the mathematics come from today. Because the sun is at the highest. You can't do this after today.
Right.
You can't take those measurements in Lochgurr.
Yes, I see what you
You can
mean.
take other measurements, but not today's ones. That's the furthest you can go. Because the sun rises there, and it goes right back there behind the furthest point, those 2 points. At the highest arc of the sky.
But isn't it amazing the way the circle is actually changing?
Well, it's changing because
in
of
that sense.
Mankind is now changing. There's too many people, I believe. The world isn't able to...
No, it's not able to feed.
And all this to feed them and everything else.
Yes.
You have to have the fertilizer.
Mm-hmm.
You have to do that to do it.
Yes.
I want to... now, be careful coming in here with
I will, of course.
nettles and all sorts of things. But here's your...
I saw your two beautiful horses on the way in. Oh my goodness, they're gorgeous.
Now, be careful of yourself coming down here.
That's fine.
I just want to show you the flowering meadows. I don't
Yeah.
fertilizer now.
Right.
But it just shows you that's what the old farmers would do.
Yes.
That's what they had. Look, and look at all those flowers. Look.
Yes, I see now what you mean. Yes.
That's the old-fashioned flowering meadows. Look, and you'll see shamrock, and you'll see all sorts of things growing up here. But if you put fertilizer on that, John, it just wipe it out, and all you have is grass, and that grass you can make into very excellent silage. Now it is an excellent feed for cattle, and you can feed horses with it as well. But I'm showing you the difference.
I see what you mean.
And if you take one from one of the fields that the silage has been cut, you know, see the way the flower, and this is recovering itself, you know.
Yes.
I'm not planting all this or anything like that.
Yeah, this
I'm
is just
leaving
nature
it.
growing.
Now, if you come over here now, and you look out there, there's nothing wrong with it. But that's the very same land, but there's no flowers, there's no nothing.
Yes.
Nothing. And so that means birds and bees.
They can't
They
nest
can't
there,
survive.
or they can't survive.
There's nothing
Whereas
for them to eat.
they survive here.
The pollen is, that's what it, and that's, you had the honey. Look,
Yes.
look, there's the one, there's shamrock. Look,
Yeah, shamrock.
you know, we call it ourselves. And you see the way the grasses are come up.
Yes.
And that's what I'm showing you.
Nature is actually providing the
nature.
food,
Nature
the
is
heat.
doing all this,
Yes.
not mankind.
It's
Nature's
beautiful
doing
here.
this. You know, this is where the old jail was.
Oh, was it?
Yeah, here.
Right.
It's a tough place in this.
Tough place in a stay. Look, I can see the foundation stones there
That's
as
it,
well,
that's it,
probably.
that's it.
How old was that now, we'll say the jail? When would that go back to?
Well, the RIC, you
The
know,
RIC, the early 1900s.
it would, and it goes back much further because
Yes,
that's the old castle, you know.
correct.
And
Yes.
they carried the gun, which was, I think, 35 pounds. It could fire a shot. And they blew down the castle in Askeaton. And they carried it, they dragged it up here with 24 bullets pulling it. And
24 bullocks.
yeah, there's a record of it. And they blew it down. That was all a lake there, you see there?
I see.
And of course the council have done all that. And that's changed the, you know, the nature too, by taking
Yes.
these water systems out
Now,
of it.
I have a question for you. I'm seeing an awful lot of that bush over there, all over the country, with the flower on it there. What is that?
That you make the most beautiful elderflower.
Ah, right.
They're elderflowers.
I have that now in the garden at home in
But you
Clane,
can
and it's
make-
growing everywhere.
And you know when you drink your glass of port, the berries is what colours the port.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, Portugal. Yeah.
I haven't had a glass of port in ages. Will you?
No,
Come on, we'll go up and we'll have some. But this is Sarah. This is yes. Now I see exactly what you mean, and people will know that as well now.
I'm not looking out there at the field with nothing. I was looking with the field with everything for the
But
birds,
sure,
the
isn't
bees,
this
and
fantastic to
butterflies.
get, even in a hot summer's day, get a seat, sit down here,
And
up
just-
there, and just watch nature.
And smell the clover.
Yes.
It is magnificent. The clover
Yes.
is at its best now. And they all come in different seasons. They don't all come together.
Yes, yes.
You know,
Right.
the 17th of March, the weanlings are away. And then everything has a cycle to come around, to follow that. And today, the cycle, everything has gone up. So they're into seed now.
Yes.
So everything will be seed, you know,
On the 21st of June every single year.
every single year.
My goodness.
Nature has done all this for us, but we don't respect nature today.
Well, it's certainly nature is giving us a kick in the bum with all our misbehaviour.
Well, rightly so too.
Thank
No,
you.
but it's just not honouring the...
No, I think that's fantastic. Thank you, Billy. And we'll be back with part 2 very shortly. Join us then.